everyone, thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to make a quick short video about how to do a proper squat. So I'm just going to start right over here without any shoes on, just so we can get a proper view of how this should all look. So first things first, you want to line up your legs with your shoulders. So making sure that your legs are shoulder width apart is the number one thing that we have to remember. Secondly, I'm going to start with my feet. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. So looking at my feet, I'm going to now bend my knees a little bit, and as you can see that my knees are slightly pointed outward. So I'm going to line up my toes with where my knees are. So once that is completed, we're going to go to the pelvis. So the pelvis is very important because then it eliminates any hyperextending. So when you want your pelvis to come forward, you're engaging your glutes and also your core. So making sure that it's as straight as possible in our lower back, so our pelvis comes forward. So the next one is our powerhouse, which is our core. Very important to make sure it's always engaged. I can't stress that enough. This right here will help you to not get injured. It helps you with balance and a lot of other great benefits that come along with keeping that core engaged during an exercise, not just with squatting, but in all exercises. So always remember to keep that core engaged. If you're having a hard time remembering how to keep your core engaged, you can either remember as if you're about to sneeze, that feeling of bracing that core. Another good reason or a good way to remember is you tie your belly button into your spine, so that tightness, that you always keep it nice and strong. So always remember that. Next we have our shoulder blades. So we're engaging our shoulder blades. So as you can see, I just kind of rolled my shoulders back. I'm imagining that I'm holding a golf ball on my shoulder blade. So I'm lengthening my chest here. So this is our starting position. So you always want to remember how to properly do a squat before adding any weights to any bars, any dumbbells, anything like that. Just do it without any weights whatsoever, just to make sure that you have the key points done correctly. So again, making sure that my toes and my knees are aligned, and then my pelvis is forward, my core is engaged, and my back is nice and strong. So there's two other ways to remember now when we're coming down into that squat. So there's two things you need to remember. You're sitting down into an imaginary chair and you're ripping the floor open with your feet. This is a good way to remember how to come on down for your squat position. So always remembering to keep that core nice and strong. We're sitting down into an imaginary chair, but we're also ripping the floor open with our feet. We're coming on up and we're going to do it again. So coming on down, your knees should be kind of coming out this way. It should not be straight. They should never be buckling in. So coming on up. So try again. Down and then up. So I'm just going to show you from the side. So now again, making sure my knees and toes are aligned. My pelvis is forward. My core is engaged. And my back is nice and strong. So again, I'm going to come on down for that squat. And my thighs are parallel to the ground. And then I come on up. So you should always be engaging that core. Always remember that. Coming on down and then up. I've had clients who've also had less flexibility in their ankles, and they tend to bring their heels on up, which is, it's normal for a lot of people without a lot of flexibility, and that's okay. The one thing I can suggest is that adding plates to your heels, so then you have a platform to kind of sit into it. A lot of people tend to forget to put their heels down. They're focusing so much on what to do with their knees, their core and everything like that, that naturally their heels just come on up. So a good cue for that one is just to remember to curl your toes up. So when your toes come up, your heels automatically come down. So that's a good way to remember also. So when you're coming down, you can curl your toes up, and then that way you can always remember to bring your heels on down. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I really appreciate you watching. Hope you have a good day.